Did Ryan Reynolds ditch Blake Lively at the premiere of Another Simple Favor to save his own career?
Strangers describe me as extremely disloyal.
Ryan Reynolds simply jumped ship to rescue himself as Blake Lively's world collapsed quickly. The catastrophe she caused has gotten so out of hand that it is bringing everyone down with her.
That's so gross and weird and manipulative, even if it's true.
Ryan was aware that his career would be the next victim of Blake's decline in Hollywood if he stayed any longer.
Ryan and Blake both now realize if their careers are to survive, they cannot be involved in the same projects because everything will be heavily scrutinized.
What the devil happened to Ryan Reynolds? When Blake Lively walked the red carpet alone, pretending to smile for the cameras as if nothing was wrong, everyone was asking that question. Well, nothing is fine. The premiere of Another Simple Favor was meant to be her big moment, but instead, everyone's talk was about the enormous hole that looked like Ryan Reynolds.
Now, insiders are spilling on the real reason why Ryan Reynolds left Blake Lively alone on the red carpet amid the Anna Kendrick beef, and it's all about money.
No couple poses, no hand-holding pictures, nothing. Please don't tell me he was busy. This man has time to purchase soccer teams and write crazy Instagram captions, but all of a sudden he's too busy to help his wife.
It sounded awful, like to a point I'm like, damn.
According to a Daily Mail insider, Ryan and Blake already knew they couldn't continue to appear together if they wanted to save their careers. Apparently, their SNL appearance was a test to see how people would react to them together, and let's just say the results were uglier than Blake's legal strategy. Naturally, the media went into full meltdown mode. Was this a calculated PR move, or was this a full-blown relationship crisis? It turns out that it's both.
Why did Ryan Reynolds not show up? I mean, I'm not entirely surprised that he didn't show up, to be perfectly honest, because this was Blake's contractually obligated appearance. She had to be there, guys.
In the SNL 50th anniversary special, Ryan Reynolds was attempting to go about his business when Amy Poehler interrupted him with, "Ryan Reynolds, how are you?" His first reaction was, "Why? What have you heard?" That wasn't just a joke, people.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
That wasn't comedy. That was a man battling for his life. He already knew what was about to happen, so that was pure, unadulterated panic. Oh boy, did they get it. The alcohol, the criticism, the side eyes.
They did this publicity stunt last night where they went on SNL and Ryan Reynolds made this silly joke, this really silly joke.
It was February 2024 that everything changed. Ryan and Blake appear on Saturday Night Live, presumably in the hopes that the lawsuit she threw at Justin Baldoni in December 2023 will be miraculously forgotten. However, no. The power couple act was no longer appealing to audiences. People cheered, most likely their public relations crew. However, there was also alcohol, awkward tension, and admirers who appear to have witnessed their childhood heroes immediately destroy their legacy.
That wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character.
And you know who was furious after that? According to Blake insiders, she was upset that Ryan wasn't supporting her victim story. He was too laid back and not giving her the stand-by-your-woman vibe she was hoping for.
She seems like a bully. She was such a high-maintenance diva bully brat.
Because, let's face it, she needed him to appear like the devoted spouse protecting her reputation. However, he appeared to be a man who was simply eager for this nightmare to end. Blake cannot have that. She requires control. She needs Ryan to be the ideal spouse, supporting her in public like a prop rather than a genuine person with a reputation of his own to uphold.
Blake had to show up for this. I'm sure she was contractually obligated to be there. And both of them, Anna and Blake, and I'm sure neither of them really wanted to be there, to be fair. But why wasn't Ryan there? I'm not surprised he wasn't there. I gotta be honest. He doesn't have to be there at every junket. Now,
and based on what she supposedly told her pals, it seems that she went into full damage control mode after that night. Oh, Ryan, how dare you not act as though your entire career rests on my baseless accusations? That Ryan wasn't taking her lawsuit seriously, as if it's his responsibility that she's out there making the worst legal mistakes known to humanity. You're as emotionally unstable as I am, so how dare you not be? The nerve.
I think they do need to do their separate appearances if they need to do them. Really, it's about protecting their separate incomes, the source explained. Blake is unsure about the future of her career because of the backlash she has received. She does not want to have a family with no income, and she knows that Ryan's career has so far survived the fallout.
This is where things start to become very interesting, though. Blake needed to repair her reputation after the SNL fiasco. What is the best way to do that? A red carpet appearance. An opportunity to appear carefree, prosperous, and prospering. However, there was one issue. Ryan Reynolds. She couldn't risk public humiliation like SNL again. So what does she do?
I didn't like him. Just gonna be straight with you. I didn't fucking like him. So they're both equally repulsive.
She leaves him before he leaves her. Because if he had arrived and behaved strangely, people would have realized her deception right away. Instead, she arrives by herself, hoping that people will simply assume Ryan is busy rather than thinking, oh, maybe he doesn't want to be here.
I wasn't that surprised that Ryan wasn't there. It wasn't his movie. It was weird that Ryan was there and it ends with us. If he shows up to every one of her movies that has nothing to do with, I think it would be worse reaction. I do.
Indeed. That's just what Ryan desired. According to the Daily Mail, Ryan was already reconsidering his public affiliation with Blake after realizing how detrimental this whole situation was to his reputation.
So I can't fault him for not showing up. The fact that he's responding is interesting. It shows they're paying attention and they're unnerved.
Consider it. This is Ryan Reynolds, the man who made his entire career out of being witty, likable, and trouble-free. A family-friendly Hollywood star who is practically impervious to criticism.
And now, no one knew who he was beforehand. Everyone knows who he is now. If he is a smart sociopath, he'll work that to his advantage.
Ryan is sitting there thinking, yeah, I'd like to not have my career ruined by association. Blake is out there destroying Hollywood bridges and making charges all over the place, and he's linked to a controversy that is becoming more and more vile by the moment.
And she knows that Ryan's career has so far survived the fallout. I would agree with that. It has. He's still going to be Deadpool. He's not going to lose gigs. I do think Blake will have a tougher time getting gigs.
Ryan Reynolds is a walking financial empire, and he isn't going to let Blake's careless PR disaster ruin his earnings. And let's not forget the most important factor here, money. Because if there's one thing Ryan Reynolds knows how to do, it's protect his bank account.
He's one of those guys, so they are absolute bullies.
Blake is freaking out in the meantime because she knows her career isn't nearly as stable as Ryan's. According to sources, she fears that if this lawsuit continues to spiral out of control, she will be completely banned from Hollywood. And let's face it, she's no longer an A-list box office draw. Her entire brand has been built on being America's sweetheart. And once that's gone, what will she have left? According to insiders, she has been urging Ryan to publicly back her, stand by her side, and demonstrate to Hollywood that she still has influence because of this.
I do think Blake will have a tougher time getting gigs, not because of a retaliation campaign, but because of her demanding authorship. Go make your own movies, Blake. Go make your own movie. You have the funds, the support, apparently. You have Hollywood friends who have your back, right?
Ryan, however, is not falling for it because he has already witnessed what happens to those who remain too close to Blake when things go wrong. Take Justin Baldoni, who went from being a well-respected filmmaker to becoming the public's worst enemy overnight simply for refusing to comply with her absurd demands. Ryan is intelligent. He knows better than to allow Blake to bring him down with her.
I know what Blake's done to Justin is worse, but we've got such tunnel vision on bad, good, bad.
The premiere snub makes perfect sense now. Ryan isn't just missing one event. He's deliberately avoiding this whole train wreck before it gets worse. And the best part? Blake is aware of it. That's why she's attempting to steer the story. Why she's out here acting like a strong, independent woman even though she really needs Ryan more than ever. Because the truth is so clear. Ryan Reynolds didn't just miss this premiere. He saw what was coming and he fled.
Now, I would argue even their solo projects are going to be scrutinized. You guys clearly aren't backing down. You're frustrated with them, and I hear why. I am too. If they really played the power moves that they did and lied.
Blake Lively truly believed she had this one figured out, didn't she? Because she is Blake Lively. She expected Hollywood to believe her without question when she came out with her sexual harassment lawsuit against Justin Baldoni in December 2023. She likely believed that the moment she screamed, Me Too. The industry would throw Baldoni into the Hollywood abyss, and she would waltz away looking like some fearless feminist icon.
The issue is, Blake Lively's done awful things to Justin and needs to pay the price in court. We'll find it out.
The problem, however, is that she didn't anticipate Baldoni to fight back. And not just fight back. He attacked her with a $400 million countersuit, utterly appending her entire story in a single action. This wasn't a small lawsuit. Rather, it was one of the most significant celebrity legal disputes of the decade.
She really wanted her vision to be included in this.
In February 2024, Baldoni filed a $250 million libel lawsuit against the New York Times, claiming that the newspaper had published a pre-planned hit piece against Blake before she even made her accusations public. Yes, before. This indicates that the NYT article wasn't merely reporting the story, it was part of the plan. Blake was out here playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. Despite this, she lost.
This person is not an honest broker. I believe her less than ever. I actually disbelieve her fully now.
It turns out that Blake Lively, Hollywood's golden girl, who spent her entire career playing the sweet, sophisticated, ideal wife, was the one pursuing Justin Baldoni the entire time. And by pursuing, I mean frantically throwing herself at him, sending flirtatious messages, and making comments so embarrassing that you'd think they were written by a 14-year-old fangirl. The more you look into this case, the more it begins to resemble a rejected episode of Gossip Girl.
She's completely flirtatious with him.
When Blake commented on Justin's fitness videos, he genuinely advised him to do it while pregnant. What exactly does that mean?
Who says that?
When Baldoni shut her down, she spiraled out of control. Rather than accepting rejection like a normal human being, she flipped the entire script and portrayed herself as the victim. This woman was so deep in her delusions that she actually thought she could get away with this. And remember, Justin is a married man.
And no amount of I'm sorry's will ever undo it. Hurt people hurt people.
The best thing, though? When none of it worked, she went all out and accused Baldoni of misconduct. This woman completely turned a failed crush into a full-fledged legal battle. Justin publicly denied everything. He called her behavior unprofessional, and witnesses supported him by saying that Blake was the one pushing for intimate scenes, rewriting scripts to make things steamier, and making strange, flirtatious remarks.
She laughs and says, oh, did you get beard on me? She doesn't say, oh my God, you nuzzled me. And said that I smell good. This is what she's done throughout.
And during it all, where was Ryan? Standing by his wife, defending her, probably believing she was the innocent victim. Until he wasn't, because Ryan reportedly felt completely humiliated when the receipts started to come in. Imagine being him, standing in the middle of this PR disaster, believing you're fighting for your wife's honor, only to realize she was the one causing all the problems. But Blake wasn't done embarrassing herself, because when the lawsuit started to fall apart, she pulled her most desperate move to frame Baldoni with a fake voicemail.
I will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have, because the truth should be out there. What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth?
Yes, it was a fake voicemail. Abruptly, a voicemail appeared in which Baldoni purportedly apologized for making Blake uncomfortable. The media extensively reported on it. Blake's legal team attempted to use it as proof that she was being truthful, but the problem is that it was nonsense.
She alleges that she's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd.
In a matter of days, Hollywood legal experts were publicly questioning whether this was an AI deepfake. Tech experts noticed something was wrong right away. The metadata didn't match. The voicemail's pacing sounded robotic. The tone was inconsistent. Some of the words even sounded choppy, stitched together, like it had been edited from different conversations.
She wants us to believe this is actionable harassment, what we just witnessed there. You tell me whether that's what that looks like to you.
Do you realize how desperate you must be to possibly tamper with evidence in a lawsuit for $650 million? Blake may now be facing genuine criminal charges for fraud if this is confirmed to be true, in addition to the defamation claim.
she, like, time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing burger.
And this is where it gets even funnier. According to reports, Ryan Reynolds went crazy after learning of the voicemail. Insiders say he was shaken and furious because he now realizes he has been deceived just as much as the rest of us. Imagine being Ryan, risking your own reputation to defend your wife, only to wake up one day and discover she has been deceiving you too.
I'm just shocked at how many lies were told, okay?
Since this isn't just about one scandal, let's look at the wider picture. Blake Lively's entire career collapsed. She spent years creating this ideal Hollywood persona, persuading everyone that she was pure, sophisticated, and untouchable. In a matter of months, she destroyed everything.
Blake Lively completely exposes herself.
She attempted to destroy a man's life just because he didn't want her. She attempted to dominate the narrative through media manipulation. She fabricated evidence to hide her identity. Now, she's witnessing her entire career burn to the ground.
So, in my opinion, Justin was wrong, and the power was with Blake.
In the meantime, Justin Baldoni is emerging from this stronger than ever. He retaliated. He exposed the lies and defended himself. Hollywood is now actually supporting him. Formerly abandoned students are now contacting him. Industry insiders are referring to him as the true victim. Blake attempted to destroy him, but instead she gave him a comeback story.
Blake got everything she wanted. On that set, she got everything she wanted. They gave every demand. And then she still kept getting more and more and more and more and more and more. So who had the power on that set? Justin, her boss, or Blake Lively, the A-star talent who they needed to finish the movie?
And Ryan, right now, he's just trying to survive the fallout. But now that his entire brand is at risk, he could also face serious legal repercussions if he helped blacklist Baldoni and used his influence to push false allegations. And knowing Ryan, he's probably already planning his escape route. Because one thing is certain, the Blake Lively train wreck is far from over, and he does not want to go down with her.
Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho. His number is psycho.
Blake Lively's downhill spiral is currently accelerating at warp speed, but it seems that she felt she hadn't disgraced herself sufficiently. What does she do now? It seems that manipulating the media, creating false evidence, and ruining her own career weren't enough, so she prepares an ambush. She wanted to further embarrass Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds.
Just when people thought Justin Baldoni was finally the bad guy, Blake Lively proved she will always be the bad guy. Justin Baldoni just released a piece of the puzzle that will destroy Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Colleen Hoover, Taylor Swift, the New York Times.
By February 24th, reports began to circulate that Blake had invited Justin Baldoni to her penthouse, claiming it was for script discussions. Apparently, she was still holding on to the belief that she could force him to do anything she wanted. However, when Baldoni entered the penthouse, he discovered he had been set up. Because who was there? Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds.
I let go of so much, and I gave it to him.
Can you comprehend this woman's sheer audacity? Even though she was aware that Baldoni had already rejected her numerous times and didn't want anything to do with her absurd rewrites, she thought, you know what? He might finally give in if I can persuade Taylor and Ryan to band together against him. That would be extreme desperation.
When Ms. Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, I'm not even attracted to you.
Blake wanted Baldoni cornered and outnumbered, and she believed that if she sat him down in front of Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, two of the biggest names in Hollywood, he would feel pressured into accepting her rewritten script. Because this is what Blake always does. She tries to bully people into submission. Insiders say this wasn't just some casual meeting. This was a calculated power move.
What the heck, dude? Get your ego in check. Get your ego in check. All you actors, get your egos in check. And yeah, I'm gonna call out actors who have way too big of an ego.
But you know what? It backfired spectacularly because Ryan Reynolds finally lost it. This was his breaking point. After months of seeing Blake turn Hollywood against herself, drag him into lawsuits, and destroy himself, he realized what was going on. He wasn't just a supportive husband during a difficult time. He was a pawn. Blake had been using him as a weapon in her personal war against Baldoni all along, and he had finally had enough.
A man being fully castrated by a woman who is using toxic feminism to get what she wants, right?
In fact, Taylor has never been spotted in public with Blake since this whole incident. No more adorable Instagram pictures, no more dinner dates, nothing. She immediately separated from Blake because she knew exactly what everyone else was noticing. Blake Lively was no longer a power player. She was a liability.
They really played the power moves that they did and lied. Shame on them, of course.
And you know Hollywood is right after Taylor Swift once she leaves. Because all of a sudden, everyone is moving away from Blake as if she were a burning structure. Directors didn't want to deal with her, and Hollywood execs stopped answering her calls. Oh, and her brand deals also started to fade away. First, there was L'Oreal, one of Blake's largest endorsement deals. According to insiders, the brand is reconsidering their relationship with her because they don't want their golden girl to be linked to false allegations of harassment. Next, there's Chanel, one of the most influential fashion brands. Because a walking controversy is the last thing you need when your brand is based on elegance and class, they are reportedly reconsidering keeping her on board as well.
Wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal.
But let's talk about the biggest hit of all, her movie career. Hollywood moves on the moment they sense weakness. And Blake? And here's the ultimate irony. While Blake is out here watching her career burn to the ground, Justin Baldoni is having a career resurgence. Yes, the same guy she tried to destroy is now being embraced by Hollywood. Studios are reluctant to hire her because she is simply not worth the risk, not because of some evil retaliation campaign. Directors don't want someone who will rewrite their scripts, sabotage co-stars, and turn every production into a lawsuit waiting to happen. The industry is supporting him because they hate being manipulated, not because they love him. And let's just take a moment to appreciate the pure karma of it all. Blake tried to destroy a man because he rejected her. She tried to manipulate the media, rewrite history, fabricate evidence, and ruin someone's life. In the end, she ruined herself. Her career is collapsing. Her friendships are disappearing. Hollywood doesn't want to work with her. And Ryan? He's finally coming to terms with the fact that his wife, not Justin Baldoni, was the one who truly betrayed him.